In the deep silence of space, a massive station floated near a glowing blue star. Inside the great silver halls of the Galactic Council, leaders of 42 powerful alien species had gathered. They were tall, short, furry, scaled, some with many eyes, and others with none. But all of them had one thing in common that day: they wanted to talk about humans. The meeting room was large and bright, with a shining glass floor that showed the stars below. At the center, a tall alien with skin like metal raised his long arm and spoke. "The humans have grown too fast. They fight too much. They break rules and make weapons too dangerous. We must decide. Do they belong in this galaxy, or should they be removed?" A quiet murmur ran through the room. Some aliens nodded. Others looked at each other, unsure. A green-skinned being with 3 arms stood up. "They destroyed 2 planets in their wars. They built machines that think for themselves. Their scientists tear through space like it is paper. They cannot be controlled. But they are smart," another alien said. "They helped during the Zarkan plague. Their medicines saved billions." "True," said a heavy, red-scaled creature with 4 eyes. "But they only help when it suits them. They are dangerous, even to themselves." The room grew quiet again. Then the leader stood tall and said, "Let us vote." One by one, the aliens raised their hands. First, the insect-like Silari, then the glowing Atrians, then the tall blue Marnak. Hand after hand went up. Some hesitated. A few looked sad. But in the end, 37 voted yes to banish humanity. Only 5 said no. The metal-skinned leader looked into the center of the room. "It is decided. Humanity is to be removed from all galactic systems. They may no longer travel through council-controlled space. No trade, no contact, no help." Somewhere far away on Earth, the stars still shone in the night sky. People looked up, never knowing what had just happened above. But soon they would. The Council sent a message straight to Earth. It was cold and clear. "Humanity is hereby exiled from the galaxy. You must leave. You are not welcome in any system under Council control. You have 30 days to remove all ships, stations, and colonies from these areas." The message shook Earth to its core. News channels lit up. Leaders across the planet held emergency meetings. People protested in the streets. Others sat in silence, shocked and afraid. Some screamed that it was unfair. Others whispered, "Maybe we deserve it." In a quiet room, deep under the surface of Earth, the world's top leaders met. The president of the Global Union, a tired woman with gray eyes, stood up and spoke. "They do not want us. Fine. We will go." "But where?" someone asked. "Far away," she said. "Away from their rules. Away from their fear. We will find a new place, and we will remember this day." Across the planet, people began preparing. Scientists started building long-range ships. Engineers dug into the ground to pull up rare materials. Farmers planned how to grow food in deep space. Children were told stories about new worlds. Artists painted ships flying through stars. But not everyone wanted to leave. Some cried and begged to stay. "Let's say sorry," they said. "Maybe they'll change their minds." Others shouted, "We should fight. Show them we are strong." The leaders stayed calm. "We will not beg," said the president. "And we will not fight. Not now. They fear us because of what we might become. So let us become something greater." In the skies above, Earth's spaceports came alive. Thousands of ships were built or repaired. Families packed their lives into metal boxes. Robots loaded cargo. AI programs calculated star maps to unknown places beyond the edge of the galaxy. The Council watched from afar. Some were pleased. Some worried. "What if they come back?" one alien asked. "They won't," said another. "They are only human." But deep inside the human heart, something ancient was waking up. Not hate, not revenge. Something colder. Something that remembered every insult, every unfair moment, every time someone turned their back on Earth. A quiet anger. The kind of anger that doesn't scream. The kind that builds things. Big things. Ships, engines, worlds. And in the last days before the departure, the humans sent a simple message back to the Council. Just one short line. We remember. The alien leaders did not reply. They simply watched as the human ships lifted off, one by one, from Earth, the Moon, and the outer colonies. They watched as the last human signal faded into deep space. And then they turned away. But Earth did not look back. The sky above Earth was no longer peaceful. It was full of smoke, fire, and light. The great departure had begun. Every major spaceport on the planet was working day and night. Thousands of human ships, large and small, lined up in orbit. The time had come to leave everything behind. People looked up at the sky with tears in their eyes. Some held their children close. Others stood in silence, watching the flashing lights of departing ships. Earth had been their home for thousands of years. Now, they were being pushed out like strangers. In the underground command center, the Global Union leaders worked without rest. Maps of unknown stars covered the walls. Scientists and AI worked together to find safe paths beyond the edge of the galaxy. They called it the long jump, a single massive jump to escape the Galactic Council's control. A young engineer named Leela stood in front of a giant ship engine. It was her team's work, a new kind of warp drive that could jump farther than anything before. She looked at the glowing blue core and whispered, "Please work. We have no second chance." Meanwhile, families packed into transport ships. The air was full of fear, hope, and sadness. Some whispered prayers. Others stared out windows at the shrinking view of Earth. Children asked questions like, "Where are we going? And will we come back someday?" One old man, a retired teacher, sat near a window and spoke softly to a little girl beside him. "We're going where no one can hurt us, where we can grow. Someday, they'll wish they hadn't pushed us away." Back on the ground, workers rushed to load the last cargo. Seeds, tools, medicine, books, everything useful was taken. Art, music, and history were stored in digital form. Earth's knowledge would not be lost. On the Moon and Mars, human colonies sent final messages. Leaving orbit now. Goodbye, Earth. One by one, their ships joined the growing fleet. Over 100,000 ships were ready. Each had its own role. Colony ships, science ships, farming ships, defense units, and AI-controlled scouts. It was not just an escape. It was a plan for survival. A plan for rebirth. Inside the command ship Unity, the president of the Global Union stood before a live camera. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed the weight of the moment. To the citizens of Earth, she said, "This is not the end. This is the beginning of something new. They told us to leave, so we leave with our heads high. We will not hide. We will build. We will rise." Her words echoed across all the ships. And then, at the exact same second, the human fleet moved. The warp drives charged. Blue lights filled the dark. A powerful hum shook the stars. The ships jumped together into deep space, farther than any human had gone before, beyond council maps, beyond warnings, beyond fear. Silence followed. On the Galactic Council station, alarms beeped. Screens showed a massive energy surge. Alien leaders watched in disbelief. One said, "They just vanished." Another whispered, "Where did they go?" No one answered. The humans were gone. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The council waited for news, but nothing came. No signals, no messages, just silence. Some thought the humans had died. Others thought they were hiding, waiting for revenge. But far, far beyond the edge of the galaxy, the human fleet had arrived. They found a new star system, empty, rich in resources, and untouched. 6 planets, one of them Earth-like, circled a quiet sun. The humans named the star Nova Sol. The planet was called New Terra. On New Terra, The first ship landed with soft legs and opened its doors. Fresh air, clean water, green land. It felt like home. The people cheered. Engineers built shelters. Robots started farming. Scientists mapped the stars. Children played in open fields. People cried again, but this time with joy. They were alive. They had made it. But even in this moment of peace, humanity did not forget. Every city on New Terra had a tall black tower in its center. On each tower were carved the same two words: "We remember." In hidden rooms deep underground, humans built new things, new machines, new engines, new weapons, not for war, not yet, but just in case the day came when the Council looked their way again. And when they did, Earth would be ready. Earth had left without looking back, but the galaxy would look back one day, and it would not forget what it had done. Years passed, and the galaxy slowly forgot about humans. The Council believed Earth was finished. They told each other that humans had gone too far, and now they were lost in the dark. Most species moved on with their lives. Trade routes reopened, and new rules were made. But deep in some minds, a quiet worry remained. In the far corners of Council space, strange things started to happen. Small scout ships disappeared without a trace. Long-range sensors picked up signals, brief, fast, and hard to track. The signals were not in any known alien language. They were sharp, organized, and repeated in strange patterns. Some thought it was a mistake. Others were not so sure. A auxiliary captain named Varric led one of the scouting missions. His ship picked up a signal near a dead star, far from any known colony. The signal was clear for just a second, a soft pulse of code. Then it vanished. Curious, Varric followed it. He never came back. The Council sent more scouts. Most found nothing, but a few returned with stories. They spoke of giant shapes floating in space, of lightless metal stations the size of cities, of machines that did not respond to hails or scans. They told of being watched by something silent. One Atrian captain, who barely made it back alive, gave a short report before collapsing. It was human, he whispered, but changed. The Council met in secret. Some said it was just pirates or rogue AI. Others believed it was the return of Earth. But how? Asked one counselor. It's only been 50 years. They were always fast, another replied. Faster than us. On New Terra, the humans had not wasted a single day. Their cities had grown. Their technology had doubled, then tripled. They had found new elements in the planets around Nova Sol. With those, they built new machines, stronger, smarter, faster. The old ways of Earth were improved. Mistakes were not repeated. Children learned science and space travel from age 5. Every home had access to AI. Health was perfect. Hunger was gone. Crime was almost zero. But still, every person knew the truth. They had been pushed out. And one day, the ones who pushed them would be watching again. In orbit around New Terra, massive starbases floated. These were not just defense systems. They were factories, labs, and shipyards. Hundreds of new ships had already been built. Sleek, silent, with engines that could outrun light. They had new names: Vigilant, Ghostfire, Second Dawn, Never Again. Human ships began exploring nearby stars. Not for war, not yet, but for knowledge and presence. Quietly, they placed stations in empty systems. They marked maps that no one else had ever seen. But they never contacted the Council. They did not answer alien signals. They left no names on their stations. They watched. One day, a small trade ship from the Council entered a strange system near the edge of the known galaxy. The crew saw a planet glowing blue and green. It looked just like Earth. Above it floated 10 black ships, silent, unmoving. The ship tried to send a greeting. There was no answer. Just a single message, flashing in basic Council code. This system is under human protection. Turn around." The traitor left quickly. He brought the message back to the council. Panic spread. "They're alive. They're strong. They're watching." Some wanted to speak with Earth again. Others shouted that it was too dangerous. "We should strike first," one alien leader cried, "before they grow too powerful." But a few counselors remembered the last message humans sent before they vanished. "We remember." And now, those words were returning like an echo in the stars. Back on New Terra, the president stood in front of a new generation. These young men and women had never lived on Earth. They were born in the stars, raised with the memory of banishment. The president spoke to them, not with fear, but with pride. "Our time is near. We will not start a war, but we will not run again. We were cast out, but now we rise." The humans were no longer lost. They were building something bigger, and in the silence between stars, they were waiting. Not with rage, not with hate, but with purpose. The galaxy thought Earth had left and vanished, but Earth had never left. It had just gone quiet. And the silence was now beginning to crack. For years, the human fleet stayed hidden. They built silently, system by system. No messages were sent. No warnings were given. But far away from the Galactic Council's eyes, something powerful was rising. In deep space, beyond any charted stars, a black station floated near a dying sun. Its name was Vigil Station. No light escaped from it. No sound came from inside. It was home to the first Ghost Fleet, Earth's most advanced warships. These ships had no bright colors, no visible weapons. They looked like shadows in space. Each one had one job: protect humanity from ever being hurt again. Admiral Kira Voss stood inside the command room of the Silent Rain, the lead ship of the Ghost Fleet. Her eyes watched the long-range scans. She didn't speak much, but her crew knew what she meant with just a look. Every day, they ran silent drills. Every week, new ship designs arrived. Every month, they upgraded their armor, shields, and AI systems. Humans had learned their lesson. Never trust the Council. Never let your guard down. Near the edge of the Ghost Fleet's territory, drones flew quietly between stars. These weren't normal machines. They were smart. They watched every wormhole, every quiet signal, every shift in gravity. If anything entered human space, they would know. And something had entered. One of the drones caught a signal. It was faint, but clear. The probe, alien-made, had jumped into a system close to New Terra. It was scanning planets, sending data back. It had council markings. Inside Silent Rain, alarms flashed. "They're scouting us," Kira said. Her second-in-command looked nervous. "Orders, Admiral." Kira gave a cold smile. "Send the Wraith. I want that probe taken." The Wraith was one of the Ghost Fleet's fastest ships. It moved through space like smoke. No one saw it coming. In just 10 minutes, it reached the system, locked onto the alien probe, and disabled it without firing a shot. The probe was pulled inside the ship. Human engineers broke it open. They found a message inside, a coded transmission meant for the Council. The message was simple: "Humans located. Preparing report." They were too late. Kara sent her own message back, this time in the Council's own language. It traveled straight through hyperspace, coded and sharp. "If you come again, we will not ask twice." The Council received the message with shock. It had been nearly 60 years. Many had believed humans were dead or scattered. Now they knew the truth. Earth was back, and it was stronger than before. Inside the Grand Council chamber, alien leaders argued. The Yilari, a proud warrior race, demanded action. "They threaten our ships. We must strike." The Grell, a peaceful species, warned against war. "We told them to leave. Now they've built a new home. Let them be." The Jernik, who had once supported the banishment of humanity, were silent. They remembered human rage, human speed, human fire. One counselor asked, "What do they want?" No one had an answer, because humans hadn't said what they wanted. Not yet. Back in Nova Sol, a secret meeting took place. The top leaders of the human colonies gathered. Military, science, diplomacy, AI. Every branch was present. They had a choice to make. Stay hidden forever, or show the galaxy that they were no longer weak. A scientist named Dr. Elon spoke first. "We've advanced more in 50 years than the Council has in 200. We're ready." General Tyron, commander of surface defense, nodded. "They'll test us again. It's only a matter of time." Kara Voss stood up. "We don't need war, but we do need to be seen. Let them know we're not ghosts." The vote was clear. It was time to reveal one ship. Just one. They chose the Second Dawn, a peaceful-looking exploration vessel, but with deep power hidden beneath. The Second Dawn jumped into a neutral system between Council space and human territory. It sent a signal, public and open. "We are the children of Earth. We are not lost. We are not weak. We have built. We have survived. If you come in peace, speak. If not, stay away." The Council was stunned. Every species heard the message. Civilians, soldiers, traders, scientists. Many were curious. A few were afraid. But most of all, they remembered something. Humans never forgot. And now, the Ghost Fleet was awake. Earth had not returned with fire. It had returned with silence, with patience, and with strength. And in the darkness of space, the question was no longer, where did the humans go? It was now, what will they do next? After the message from Second Dawn, the whole galaxy was silent. The humans had spoken. No threats, no demands, just a clear signal. "We are here, we are ready, do not test us." But the Council didn't know how to respond. Some species feared another war. Others wanted peace. A few powerful voices whispered about stopping the humans before they grew stronger. Fear made people talk fast, and fear made some leaders dangerous. On New Terra, Admiral Kara Voss watched the reactions carefully. Her eyes followed every broadcast, every signal from Council space. She knew fear always came before war. And the Council was very afraid. Back on the planet, the people of New Terra remained calm. They trusted their leaders. They trusted their ships. More than that, they trusted themselves. Everyone remembered the day Earth was cast out. No one had forgotten the vote that sent them into exile. That memory lived in their bones. But this time, humans would not wait to be attacked. In a large command room beneath the capital city, President Ryan spoke to the top leaders of humanity. They are debating. Some want peace. Others want to destroy us again. We cannot be caught by surprise. General Tyron nodded. "We need to show them what we've built. They need to see that war will not end like before." Kara stepped forward. "Let's choose a system, one near Council space, but still unclaimed. We build a beacon station there. Open. Visible. Let them come see it." President Ryan agreed. "Yes, but only if they come in peace. We must be ready if they don't." A new project began. They chose a system with a red star and 3 empty planets. In just 30 days, humans built Beacon 7, a beautiful, towering station made of white metal and glowing light. It sent peaceful signals across space. "We are open to talk. We are not open to threats." Some council members were curious. A group of peaceful scientists from the Grell were the first to send a ship. Their ship approached slowly, shields down, weapons cold. The humans welcomed them in. What the Grell saw amazed them. The inside of Beacon 7 was advanced, but peaceful. Clean halls, gentle lights, floating drones giving tours. The humans showed them gardens, art, classrooms, and powerful engines. But not weapons. They didn't need to. The power in the walls spoke for itself. The Grell returned to the Council and reported, "Humans have changed. They are more advanced than we expected." but they are calm, not hostile. If we strike them now, we will lose many lives. Some listened, others did not. One group didn't care about peace at all. The Zarnak Coalition, a group of 4 warrior species, secretly met. They hated humans. They had voted to banish Earth long ago. They believed humans would one day rise up and take revenge. They wanted to strike first. In secret, they built a battle fleet -20 ships. Fast, armed, brutal. They did not tell the Council. They planned to destroy Beacon 7 in a surprise attack and blame it on pirates. They thought humans would be caught off guard. They were wrong. When the Zarnak fleet entered the system, Beacon 7 already had eyes on them. Drones were watching. Satellites recorded every move. Kira Voss was already waiting. The Ghost Fleet jumped in silently behind the Zarnak ships, hidden, cloaked, ready. Not one human ship was seen on radar until it was too late. As the Zarnak ships approached Beacon 7, a human voice echoed through their systems. "You came with weapons. You did not speak. You will not fire." The Zarnak commander laughed. "They are bluffing. Attack." But before a single shot was fired, every Zarnak ship was locked by targeting eye. Human stealth cruisers surrounded them, each one faster and deadlier than anything the Zarnak had ever seen. The human fleet did not fire. They just waited. One by one, Zarnak ships turned and fled. The fleet returned to their home systems, broken and silent. The news spread fast. The Council was shocked. The Zarnak were exposed. They had acted without permission. The Council punished them publicly. But behind closed doors, many leaders felt something deeper. They were now afraid of Earth. Not because of war, but because the humans had shown restraint. They had the power to destroy. And they chose not to. That choice made them dangerous in a new way. On New Terra, the people didn't cheer. There were no celebrations, just quiet relief. They had shown the galaxy they were not weak. They had not started a war, but they would not be hunted again. In space, the Ghost Fleet returned to their dark stations. And Earth waited. Because this time, humans would not be caught by surprise. This time, the galaxy knew the truth. The Banished had returned, and they were watching everything. In the heart of the galaxy, the Grand Council gathered again. The chamber was quiet at first, but the silence was heavy. The air felt tense. After the failed attack by the Zarnak, no one dared to speak carelessly. Some leaders still couldn't believe what had happened. 20 warships shut down without a single human shot. The Ghost Fleet had been a myth. Now it was a warning. The Yulari High Marshal slammed his fist on the table. We must not let them rise further. They hide behind peace while building machines of war. But Councillor Dren of the Grell spoke calmly. You saw what they did. They gave warnings. They showed restraint. If they wanted to start a war, Beacon 7 would be a graveyard. A whisper spread among the members. Some agreed. Some didn't. But one thing was clear. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were a power. Councillor Silen of the Jernik stood next. Her voice was quiet, but steady. We voted to exile them. We treated them like monsters. But they did not become monsters. We must ask, who made the mistake? The room fell silent again. Far away on New Terra, humans waited. They knew the Council would talk, debate, argue. Some would want to attack. Others would beg for peace. President Ryan stood on the balcony of the High Command Tower, looking up at the stars. Below her, the city was peaceful, but everyone was watching the skies now, waiting for a signal, a move, a word. Inside the command center, Kira Voss received a private message from an old friend, a spy still hidden in the Council's capital. The message was short. They are scared. Some want war. Some want talks. But none of them trust each other. Kara didn't smile. She simply nodded. That's what fear does. She turned to her fleet commander. We begin Phase 2. Quietly. No sudden moves. Keep building. Keep watching. In orbit, human stations grew stronger. More ships joined the Ghost Fleet. New satellites reached farther into space. Human scientists developed better shields, better engines, smarter AIs. But nothing was shown. Not yet. Then, something unexpected happened. A small council ship entered Beacon 7 space. No weapons, no soldiers. On board was a single diplomat, Counselor Dren of the Grell. He asked for a meeting. President Ryan, Kira, and several key leaders welcomed him on board. Dren bowed his head. I speak not just for the Grell, but for many who were silent long ago. We are sorry for the vote. We believed lies. We believed fear. Ryan replied. Many believed the same. And now, Dren looked around the room. Now the council must decide. Continue the path of fear or step into peace. I offer a new vote. A full return. Earth rejoining the council. The room was quiet. Kara finally spoke. And if the vote fails? Dren paused. Then war will come. Maybe not today, but it will come. From those who fear your strength. He handed them a small device. A secure channel. If things fall apart, we can speak before the fire begins. Then he left. Back at the council, Dren made his speech. He called for a vote to bring Earth back, not as a weak member, but as an equal. A sovereign force. The debate was fierce. The Yilari refused. The Zarnak threatened to leave. Others warned of war. But something had changed. Fear was still there. But now respect had joined it. The vote was set for 7 days later. Humans waited. They did not beg. They did not threaten. They simply continued building. Across council space, whispers grew. Civilians watched the Beacon 7 broadcast every day. They saw human cities, human art, human music. Many were shocked. The exiled ones hadn't become beasts. They had become stronger, smarter, wiser, and the people began to wonder, maybe the vote was wrong. Maybe the galaxy needed Earth. Maybe Earth was the future. Then came the news. On the 7th day, the vote was cast. It was close, but the final result stunned the galaxy. Humanity would be allowed to return. The council would meet them. A grand gathering would be held at Beacon 7. Every race would send a leader. Peace would begin. Or so they hoped. On New Terra, the people didn't cheer wildly. They had learned not to trust words too quickly. President Ryan gave a quiet message to all human systems. We are not returning in chains. We are not returning to beg. We return with honor. And if they break that again, we will not leave quietly next time. Kara prepared her fleet, just in case. The Ghost Fleet stayed cloaked, but alert. Because in space, peace was just another battle. And even as invitations were sent and preparations began, far beyond council space, in the darkness, a new enemy watched. Not part of the council, not known to Earth, not bound by any vote, and they did not want peace. They wanted something else, something far more dangerous. They wanted the secret humans were still hiding. The day had come. For the first time in over 100 years, Earth, or what humanity now called New Terra, was invited to speak before the Galactic Council, not as outcasts, not as a warning, but as equals. Beacon 7 floated quietly in space, brighter than ever. It had been cleaned, polished, guarded. Every hallway glowed with white lights. The docking bays were ready. Security drones hovered silently. Thousands of cameras waited to send every moment across the stars. The council ships began to arrive one by one. The Grell delegation came first, calm, respectful. Then the Jernik, the Shilai, the Harn, even the silent thinkers of the Moleri came. Each ship took a place around the station. Then the final council ship arrived. The Central Council leader's flagship, carrying the same voices that had voted to banish Earth long ago. But this time, They came to meet humans. Kira Voss stood in her uniform, her face calm but alert. President Ryan stood beside her, tall and proud. Their guards wore no weapons. Their faces showed no fear. The doors opened. Aliens stepped in, one after another, some nervous, some cold. Many looked around at the clean beauty of Beacon 7. It was advanced, clearly beyond what Earth had before its exile. Still, it wasn't warlike. No banners, no threats, just quiet power. When all were seated, the council leader stood. "We are here," he said slowly, to correct a mistake. No cheers followed, just silence. President Ryan stepped forward. Her voice was steady. "Earth remembers. We remember the vote, the exile, the silence that followed. But we did not die. We did not forget. We did not become what you feared. We became more." A pause. Every eye on her. "You see our strength now, our ships, our science. But that's not what makes us dangerous. What makes us dangerous is our memory and our patience." Some delegates looked uncomfortable. "We come in peace," she said, her tone sharp now. "But not in weakness. If we are to return, it will be as equals. You will not command us. You will not decide for us. That time is over." Then she stepped back. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Councillor Dren of the Grell rose. "We agree. Earth returns, not as a child, but as a voice." The vote was repeated, formally, this time. One by one, each council member pressed their decision. Yes, yes, yes. A few still said no, but not enough to stop it. The screen lit up. Earth, reinstated. A message flashed across thousands of star systems. Humans were no longer exiles. They were a part of the galaxy again. But even as the council discussed trade, peace, and shared science, Kira Voss's eyes kept moving. Her implants tracked heat signatures. Her mind watched for changes in the room's atmosphere. Something wasn't right. She felt it. And she was right. Far from Beacon 7, on the edge of deep space, a signal flared. Unknown. Unregistered. Alien. A small station near human space picked it up first. An AI inside the system translated one word: harvest. At the same moment, on a cold moon near the old border, a research outpost went dark. No distress call. No warning. Just silence. In Beacon 7, Kira got the alert on her private channel. Her eyes narrowed. "We have a problem," she whispered. President Ryan checked the report. Something had entered human space, not from the council, not even from known maps. It was older, darker, hidden until now. The council leaders had no idea yet. They were still talking about peace, about friendship, about forgiveness. But Earth had already seen the truth. This wasn't over. Ryan turned to Kira. "Get the Ghost Fleet ready." "Already done," Kira said. On New Terra, across every colony, the quiet warning was sent. Military networks lit up. Factories changed to defense mode. Civilians were calmly told to prepare. Not for war, but for something worse. For something not afraid of humans. For something that had been waiting in the dark. Watching. And now it was coming. Back on Beacon 7, President Ryan gave a final message to the council before leaving the chamber. "We accept peace. We want peace. But Earth will not be blind again." Her last words echoed across the room. "We came back stronger than ever. If something else comes, we won't run this time. And we won't fight alone. You banished us before. But if this darkness spreads, you will be begging us to lead." And then she walked out, her people behind her. The return of Earth was complete. But the real story was just beginning. Because somewhere beyond the stars, something ancient had seen the rise of humanity. And it did not fear Earth. It hungered for it.